Shalom. 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 I'm going to start off first, giving all my glory and praise and worship to Yahawah, Hashem, YAHAWASHI, Hashem, HAQADASH. Give our honors to our apostles, our elders, of great wisdom, who will teach us sound doctrine. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and the rest of the Lord from the two men children, that the Lord have mercy in these last days. It's your brother, HAQADASH, representing the generous branch here in Cleveland, coming back with a dream testimony. We're witness edifying. Man, it's like it. Man, I was crying for so long. Brothers and sisters, we are literally at the end of this thing, man. Okay? As you can see by the title of this lesson, it says powerful dream testimony. All right, my wife had a dream, a very, very powerful, edifying, and faith-boosting dream, a vision, if you will. Without further ado, because last night, my son would not go to sleep, man. All right, he'd be 2. But for some reason, he would not go to sleep. Yeah, he'd be 2 this year. For some reason, he would not go to sleep. So he kept my wife up, right? I was asleep, and I was mad because she woke me out of my sleep because I was dreaming. I go to the store, come back, get the items that we needed, and then return, and one thing and another. Well, my wife only had an hour of sleep, and she said, that the brother sent a dream testimony to the chat. So I clicked it, and I'm watching it. And this is today. This is literally like an hour ago. All right. I clicked the dream testimony. I'm checking it out. And then she called me in the room. She asked me, come here. And then she said she had to tell me about her dream. So I pressed pause on the video and she got to explain it. And this is how the dream went. She said, myself and her and our children, both my children, we were at the store. And she said, when we walked out, all right, it was like, if you think about like Walmart doors, like the big gigantic sliding doors, she said we walked through the doors, and it's like some stores have like an overhead. Okay, she said it was like that when we was walking out. She said it wasn't Walmart, but it was like it. Point is, when we walked out, she said, as soon as we walked outside, everybody was screaming. I mean, she said it was complete chaos. Everybody was running back and forth, screaming. And she said, we looked up, like as we got past the little pier thing, we looked into the sky, and she said it was a bunch of chariots. All right, it was a bunch of chariots, and she said they were coming in at an angle like an arrow. She said they made a shape of an arrow, and they were coming in. She said they was in order. She said none of them like was ahead of the other one. She said they were coming in like an arrow, right? Make you think of the scriptures, right? Um, um, Isaiah 31. Okay, she said they was coming in like an arrow, right? And she said they were coming in, and she said we didn't panic. She said I didn't even say all praises to HALALYAM, how we usually do when we see chariots. She said we was all just stuck. And we just, even my daughter and my son, she's holding my son. My son is be 2 this year. My daughter be 4 this year. She holding my son. My daughter's next to us. My daughter didn't panic or anything. No one panicked in my family. We were just stuck. She said we was looking up in the sky, looking at the chariots coming at an angle. And then she said in the middle of it was this big, gigantic chariot. All right. And she said that it was so big that you can only see the bottom of it because the top of it was still in the clouds. Make you think of 2 Ezra 13. So again, these chariots was coming in like an arrow, like the scripture say, Isaiah 31:5, as birds flying. Okay, when birds come in, they come at an angle. Apostle Ramla was going into that one time. Okay, they fly in there in order. Okay, and she said that's how the chariots was coming in, literally like an arrow. And she said out of nowhere, a big white flash happened. Okay, and she said everybody was like this. The flash was so bright, everybody was like this. And then she said she was like that. And she said when she opened her eyes, I was gone. And she said it was like the Avenger movies where they was disappearing. All right, and make you think of the scriptures too. All right, one should be taken, right? All right, it just make you think of that. You know what I'm saying? Just because like it was groups of people and it was people running, and she said people were screaming people names like where is so and so, and and she was looking around for me, and she was like she when the white flash happened, she said I was gone. And then she said still my daughter wasn't panicking like where is Abba, or my son, nobody was crying. She said they was still, right? And then she mentioned that she mentioned that when that happened, she said she was getting weak. And then she said she was getting weak. And then she said this loud ringing noise was in her ear. And she had my son in her arm. And she said this loud ringing noise was happening in her ear. And then she said she was like, oh, dang, she was thinking in her head, please don't faint. Because she got my son, and she didn't want them to be just out while she's fainting on the ground, right? So, but she said when she had the loud ringing in her ear, she had my son in her ear, and then she said she remember her falling back. All right, she remember her falling back. Okay, because this happened after the chariots. She said the white flash that happened after that. So when she fell back, right, she uh she said she remember waking up, but when she woke up though, she was standing up. Okay, and she said that she was standing up, but she said nobody was saying nothing. When she woke up, she remembered just like this futuristic looking place with all type of, she said it was, she couldn't explain it, it was like futuristic. Okay, and she think it was a chariot, right? It might have been a chariot, she might have been inside the chariot. She said all she remembers is that after the ringing and she fainted, she woke up and she was in order. She said nobody was in front of each other. She said it was a bunch of women and children. She said it was a bunch of women and children all lined up next to each other. And she said they were staring at this big gate. All right. And at the gate, she said she just saw a bunch of men coming out the gate. She said the gate wasn't even that big. She said the gate was just average size, and but she said you saw a flood of men coming out. Like it was like imagine like an entrance, and then a group of men coming through the entrance, and then it just flooding out like I can't see my hand, but flooding out like that. She said, but the men that came out, she said she saw me. All right, and brothers, she said she saw me come out with a group of men, and she said it was so beautiful because we were all in order. Like no one was stepping on each other. Like we weren't squeezing through the entrance way. She said we just came out and it was just a flood of men. And she said we all had on white, sharp garments. Like it was like it was crisp. It was pure white. And she said she remember seeing me with like the big beard on my face. And she said all the other men that was with me, she said some men had braids. She said other men had mitris on. Okay, but we all had on the same thing, just white a garment or white attire, pure white. She said she don't remember seeing YAHAWASHI, but she saw just a large body of men coming out of this tall gate. And remember, she's with all the other women and children just lined up, and they're watching us come out the gate. Because remember, I was just with them in the world. I was just, we was just shopping at the store, and that flash happened. And she said that's the last time she saw me. And then that ringing happened. Remember, she passed out and she woke back up into the formation that she said. She said everything was in order. She said it was not one thing that was overlapping the other thing. Everything was completely in order. And when we came out the gate, again, she saw all the men with their beards. She said some men's beards was long, some men's beards was just real fluffy. And she said she saw me with like this big fluffy beard. She said I had like this scraggly afro, right? And like that's how my hair is, like it's like, silky. She said I had like this scraggly afro. Some men afros were short. Some brothers had braids. Some brothers had meaches on, but we all had the same thing. And then she said when we came out the gate, she said her they was just standing there, one saying nothing, just looking, and all the children ran towards us, to all the men. All right, all the children that was with the women started to run towards us. Okay, and she said that she remembered her hair. She remembered she had a hair wrap on. She couldn't remember. Obviously, she couldn't remember. Well, she said she couldn't remember. She had like her street attire on, but she remembered that my account, everything changed when she saw me. She said, it was just like basically like a glow. All right, if you will, and she remembered all the children running towards all the men as they came out the gate. It was like I'm trying to think of like some type of ants, like not ants, but like it was like a formation, like because she was trying to describe the entrance out of the gate and how it came out like a flood of men. It was just beautiful how she was describing it, man. And uh, that's basically like the gist of the dream, like how the Lord, what he, Isaiah 31:5, as birds. Matter of fact, let me grab it real quick. As birds, this is Isaiah 31:5. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. And that's what we're coming into. We're coming to the one, Lord willing, we are that number to have that blood on our doorposts spiritually, or our mind to be that why to receive that mark of exemption from judgment. Okay, and it was beautiful how the Lord, she said she saw a white flash so bright that everybody went like this. And she said I was gone. And other people in the parking lot was gone. They were screaming for their significant other or whoever they were with. She remember just being all women and children when she woke back up, you know. And the reason why I was crying so hard is because too, it made me think about when I basically died, when I was 2 years old. And I remember my mom said when I woke up, I was drenched in water. My hair was all curled up, had long braids, and it was all curled up. And she said, only thing she said, she remembered me saying when she was explaining it to me. Obviously, I don't remember, but she was breaking it down to me. She said, I saw God, right? She said, I saw a bright light. She said, I wanted to walk into the light. And she started crying because she knew I was basically dead. I didn't know, but she was older. So she, in her mind, she's thinking that, yo, he's dead. I failed as a mom because I was sick. I was real sick. And all she remembered me saying is that when she explained it, I saw a bright light. So that's what I thought of when my wife was telling me the vision, is that it makes sense because she said, I said, the Lord told me when I was 2 years old, when I was telling her, she said, I said, the Lord told me to go back, not yet. Go back, not yet. And I was thinking of that as she was telling me the dream because it made me think like, dang, that's probably what the Lord meant. All this time as I've been living, especially being in the truth, I'm thinking like I might be a martyr for Yahushua, whatever. But I was thinking like, dang, that makes sense. Like, Lord willing, we aspire to be the hopeful elect. That's what we're fighting for, that crown. And I just started thinking like Yahushua is probably what Yahushua was talking about. That flash, it's gonna be a bright flash, and people are just gonna be gone. They're just gonna disappear. And that's what I probably saw when I was 2 years old, trying to go into the flash and the light. And the Lord told me, not yet, go back. Not yet, go back. He said it like 3 times. Not yet, go back. Not yet, go back. Not yet, go back. And then, and then that's when I woke up when I was 2. But long story short, man, that's the base of the dream. Is so powerful because brothers and sisters just keep fighting, keep the faith. We're almost at the end of this thing. Okay? We're almost at the end of this thing. The visions that the Lord is placing on different brothers and sisters and different people around the world, these things are lining up with the scriptures, man. That's how you know it wasn't something just made up. Because a lot of these people don't even know the correct breakdowns of the scriptures. They wouldn't even be able to go to a precept to prove their dream. These things are coming and they're divinely inspired. All right. Making when she said she saw the chariot, the fathership that Yahawashi is going to be upon. Okay, second Ezra 13. She said it was so big that it came out the sky and was still in the clouds. You know, like we're almost at the end. We're at not almost. We're at the end of this thing. Keep fighting. Keep the faith. Keep enduring. Okay, and Lord willing, we receive those crowns, man. At the end of the day, man. So I just wanted to make this quick testimony about my wife's dream. Hopefully, I explained everything. I believe I explained everything. Um, yeah, Lord willing, I explained everything. If not, I could probably just mention it in another lesson or something. But that's the basis of the dream. Lord willing, this is edifying. Okay, I want to give all honor, glory, infinite praise, and worship to again Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, HAQADASH. Double honors to again to our apostles, our elders, a great millstone, who rule well, teach well, and sound doctrine, strong shalom to the hopeful elect, and the rest of the large multitude of men, women, and children, that the Lord will have mercy on these last days. And remember, 1 Corinthians 14 and 40, let all things be done decent and in order. And it was beautiful how she was explaining it and how everything was done in order. From the beaming up to us coming out the gate, to the women all lined up, to everything, all the formations, all the things that was taking place was specific, and it was done decently and in order. So Lord willing, it's edifying, and Lord willing, this is a faith booster to brothers and sisters that's been laboring, well, brothers that's been laboring in this thing, man, that's been fighting and making their bodies a living sacrifice. Don't think it's in vain, brothers. All right, keep the faith and keep hope and keep pushing, man. Finish the race. All right. So Lord willing, it's edifying. Until next time, shalom.